Hello everybody, welcome back to another reaction. This time we're hopping into Dark Revisited Season 1, Episode 6, titled Sic Mundus Creatus Est. If you've been enjoying this series, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Show your support in the comments down below. Take a peek at my Patreon if you're interested in fuller extended reactions and reviews, as well as early access to the next week's. This episode, of course, that's if you want to. So, I'm kind of wrestling with this decision here. We're about halfway through season 1, where I guess we are at the halfway point. And the series, I still like doing this. I feel like after season 1, I want to take a break and kind of steer the channel into a different direction. We'll pick up with season 2 at some point. I just want to see, I'm just trying to test some things out. Bring more traffic to the channel. Definitely trying to bring in some new faces. So if you're new and you haven't seen my Dark reactions already, my initial reactions, check them out. They are on YouTube. There are like a couple episodes that are blocked, but I do have Dropbox links available to catch the edited reactions. That being said, I believe this episode is where things start hitting the fan. And I think with the title, I believe this is the episode where Jonas finds the door in the cave, or someone finds the door. Either way, we're going back in time, or we're learning a little bit more, because last episode we left with Jonas learning the truth about Michael and Mikkel. Big stuff, big reveals, so we're just going to go ahead and go forward and see what happens next, see what we can catch, and of course, leave all the Easter eggs and all the little tidbits in the comments down below. I love reading those. So yeah, let's hop right into it, stop yammering, and talk about it after. Alright guys, here we go. Oh, this is Regina.
Es ist nicht mehr lustig.
Shit.
Katharina?
She has like paint here. I'm trying to remember what that's about. I forget, why'd they tie her up? Is this because Katharina took what Hannah said about Regina ratting on Ulrich to the cops?
Ich will, dass ihr doppelte Schichten arbeitet. Ich will, dass jeder Stein in dieser Stadt umgedreht wird. Jeder Keller durchsucht wird. Jeder hinterlässt irgendwo eine Spur. Wir müssen sie nur
And Mikkel's there.
Und ihr Mann, wo war der?
Der war zu Hause bei uns. Wir haben zu
Yeah, Ulrich doesn't believe that. They're lying.
Tronte, Ulrich und ich.
I forget what she says though, because he was never there, right? Because he was helping Claudia? Make sure I don't have my wires crossed with that.
Blind. Jeder denkt das Gleiche. Keiner traut es auszusprechen. Mikkel ist tot.
She deserved that, for sure. I mean, knowing what I know now, obviously I like Martha, but I got a lot of heat for expressing my opinion about Martha until she finally turned herself around. I believe it was like in season 2 where I finally was like, oh, okay, I like Martha.
Als damals Mats verschwunden ist, gab es da irgendeinen Verdächtigen? Hatte Egon irgendetwas?
Egon. Egon war ein Trottel.
Der tote Junge, den wir gefunden haben im Wald. Der sah aus wie aus den 80ern.
And he knows because he moved the body.
Das ist derselbe Täter. Wo warst du in der Nacht, als Mats verschwunden ist?
He moved the body with Peter
Du hast gesagt, du warst zu Hause.
because Claudia
Du warst nicht beim Abendessen.
came in and said, we only have so much time, we have to move the body to where it needs to be found or something.
Warst du vor 5 Tagen, als Mikkel verschwunden ist?
Er war hier.
Is she willingly covering for him? I forget. Because Jana's not really expanded on in the series. She's just kind of there. So does she know? Trying to think, would that mess anything up if she did know? She knows of something, but I don't think she knows the truth.
Hat einer viel. Das war nicht die erste. Und in der Nacht, in der Mats verschwunden ist, da
Weißt du mit wem?
Claudia.
Alright, so that's Francesca's next to a bunch of condom wrappers, next to a dirty ass mattress in the middle of the forest. Yeah, that'd be a little sus. I forget what her reasoning is for that being there. And she's wearing white this time. It's this scene.
Wie geht's dir?
Interesting how we're seeing 3 different versions of her. I wonder if that's intentional. Like one representing each of the worlds. The triquetra, maybe.
Ich hätte nicht diese beschissene Idee mit den Höhlen haben sollen.
He's apologizing. Alright. Getting some points in.
Hey, bist du sauer auf mich?
I mean, he's being genuine. I can't hate this guy.
Warum soll ich sauer sein?
At this point, just because of her body language and yeah, see.
Ich weiß grad nicht.
At that point, you would know that you'd probably want to cut ties just because, like, okay, she's not.
Stick fängt auch gleich an.
He's trying to ride or die with her, so I don't know, guys. Still not a fan of Martha at this point. I mean, Bartosz ain't no spring chicken either, but at least he's trying. He's remorseful. He's apologetic. He wants to fix things. He's like, tell me what you want. I'll do whatever you want. You do a lot of things for the girl you love, all right? Do a lot of stupid shit. Oh, the phone bill. Just laying out in the open. Why? And she calls, and Hannah answers.
Hallo?
Probably not what you wanted to hear. So Hannah at that point should be like, okay, that's pretty sus, so I don't know. Wait. Did Ulrich leave his phone there? Why? Wait, did Katharina call using her phone or I can't tell if she was calling from her cell phone or from her house phone. If it was her house phone, why would Hannah answer that? Why would she think Ulrich's calling from his house phone and not the cell phone?
In der Nacht, als mein Bruder verschwunden ist. Was ist da wirklich passiert? Hat er was gesagt? Was Komisches? Irgendetwas?
Franz war der einzige Mensch, den ich kannte, der nie ein schlechtes Wort über andere gesprochen hat. Ich habe mir immer vorgestellt, dass es dich anstatt ihn treffen soll. Die Welt ist ihm nicht gerecht.
Das war ein Spiel. Wir waren Kinder, wir haben alle Fehler gemacht.
Und ich habe bis heute keine Entschuldigung dafür gehört.
Ja, darum geht's dir, eine Entschuldigung, ja? Du hast deinem versoffenen, nichtsnutzigen Opa erzählt, ich hätte Katharina vergewaltigt.
Das habt ihr geglaubt?
This is kind of nuts too, because how would he just figure this out now? It took 30 years to figure this out. He never like asked or looked into this at all.
Damals.
I mean, he works for the police. You'd think he'd want to look into that.
Ich bin nicht halb so ein schlechter Mensch wie du.
I forget, does he confirm her story? Does he check the records? That is kind of a weird and odd conversation to have. Especially when he went so long just believing the one cop that hates him.
Wir leben Tür an Tür.
He is checking.
Wir keine
Okay.
Ahnung haben, wer sie wirklich sind. Und hinter einer dieser Türen ist mein Sohn. Unter jedem gehören. Dem Mann an der Kasse oder jemand.
Bartosz is trying, man. I'm sorry. I'm Team Bartosz, you know? So not gonna apologize for much more about that.
Diese Stadt ist krank. Winden ist wie ein Geschwür. Und wir alle sind ein Teil davon.
So that's why Regina confronts her later on, because she's like, you're still talking shit? Like, seriously? You just had to put Ulrich in check about what really happened. So yeah, okay. I wouldn't even open the door if I heard knocking like that. Ugh.
Du hast mich wegen Vergewaltigung angezeigt. Wie krank bist du eigentlich?
I'm surprised she didn't turn this back on him and like try to get him arrested. It's like he attacked me.
Ein jeder, ob Königstochter oder nicht, steht mit einem Fuß im Schatten, dem anderen nur im Licht.
Light and shadow, just like they were talking about. Later on, the two groups.
Du musst tief hinein. Bis in die Mitte. Dort im Schatten wartet er. Halb Mensch, halb Tier.
Is this the guy that's her boyfriend in the other world?
Dieses Band, das wir jetzt knüpfen. Versprich mir, dass du es niemals trennst.
But he does sever it in the other world. Because he like breaks up with her, right?
Es geht zu Ende.
Look at her shedding her skin like a snake.
Ist das Stück schon zu Ende? Oder hast du deine Tochter von der Bühne geschleppt, um sie vor den kranken Menschen dieser Stadt zu retten?
See, that comment's not even necessary. I understand everyone's on edge, but damn. Shows like Breaking Bad, where people actually like do things, it just kind of creates that ripple effect. Everyone's actions like creates like someone else's reaction, and it's like an endless cycle. Why wouldn't Martha step in? That's what I don't get. What was Martha doing? Just standing by, watching? She should have been like, Mom, stop. Regina, the play's over. We just want to go home. Let's argue later. It's been a long night. But I love the drama. I'll say that much.
Habt ihr das gesehen? Das ist eure Mutter wirklich.
Martha's still standing there, like deer in headlights.
Sag ihm, wie ihre Mutter wirklich ist.
Glaubst du, es wird jemals wieder so sein wie vorher? Eigentlich kennt man seine Eltern überhaupt gar nicht.
Well, I'm sure they made a bunch of dumb mistakes like you guys are making, so...
Familie, aber man weiß eigentlich gar nichts über den anderen.
Oh yeah, it's this episode. He's gonna run into little Hannah. What are the odds that they'd be passing at this point? I mean, I guess you had to line it up this way, right?
Anna, rutsch rüber. Komm, steig ein, fahr dich nach Hause.
Anna?
Crazy.
Mats ist auf den
That's
Gras
crazy, man.
gekracht. Am Ende war es nur ein kleiner Schnitt. Unten am Kinn.
Okay, so that was season 1, episode 6 of Dark, Sic Mundus, Creatus Est. Great episode. As we all knew it was going to be, a lot of revelations, a lot of like we're taking the story in a lot of interesting directions. I couldn't find that many Easter eggs, but I made some notes, some commentary along the way about some things that kind of stuck out to me. Overall, I'm really enjoying the setup to Dark. Like the setup to the whole story. That's why I kind of find season 1 really intriguing, because of how everything is set up, how everything's kind of in your face a little bit to kind of draw you away from certain things. Like there are a lot of plot points that are still going on strong, but then there are some instances where I'm just like, would that have actually happened the way it did, the way it played out? You know what I mean? There's a couple of scenes in this episode where I'm just like, well, why didn't someone do this? Why didn't someone do that? I'm guessing it has to play out this way. That's the only thing I can think of, because this world is technically not real, right? I think we learned this in season 3. Like, this world is created because in the actual world, Townhouse wanted to fix his mistake, but by doing that, he accidentally created like 2 separate worlds also. So he was in the real world and he created 2 different worlds. Is that right? So in these 2 worlds, these characters that we're following, they're not real, but they're still living people. They still have souls. They still exist, but they're copies. You know what I mean? I don't know how else to explain it. Because, so everything, it has to just be artificially, like, set up. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but it just feels kind of strange how characters kind of just allow things to happen. Like, I think the one scene in general that I just kind of took me out of it was when Regina and Katharina were, like, you know, squaring up in the school, and Martha was just kind of just hanging back, like deer in headlights, like, did nothing to help. I mean, when you see your mom engaging in physical contact with another mom, I think any child would want to separate them at that point, not just look on like a deer caught in headlights. I mean, I don't know. It was just kind of weird. Honestly, everybody's on edge, and I can't speak for what Martha or the character of Martha was feeling in that moment. Obviously, everyone's emotions are heightened, and enough was enough. But, you know, characters are just reacting based upon information they're given, you know, even though this information is false or wrong. So I don't blame characters for what they're doing, but I don't know how else to explain it, because it's what I appreciate about the show is that it tackles real world scenarios. Like right now, I swear, I'm telling you guys, I wanted to watch this show again to kind of look at it through like different lens this time. But I still like Bartaj, you know. I still think he's doing everything he can to kind of save this relationship, even though Martha couldn't give two shits about it, which is sad. But you know, at this point, just break it off. It's just situations like that. It's just kind of like, meh. And I don't know. Martha just doesn't seem very likable at this point. She's just kind of, yeah, her brother went missing. She's distant. She's emotional. But it's like, from what we've seen, Bartaj isn't really a bad guy. I mean, she's just not interested in him. And I think you just owe him the truth. You know, you just owe him honesty. Like, yo, ever since Jonas came back, I've been kind of rethinking our status as a couple. You know, let's be grown-ups about it. So I don't know. There's just a couple of things that I'm just like, would that really work out in this situation or scenario? But I don't know. But I really like the end revelation where Ulrich realizes that the body they found was in fact his younger brother. Crazy ass shit. They figured it out because of the whole scar on the chin story. And yeah, I mean, where do we go from here? If I missed a bunch of Easter eggs, let me know in the comments down below, please. I enjoy reading all those comments, and I love kind of picking up on all the stuff I miss out on, because, you know, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, so a bunch of things still keep going over my head, and I'm sure I missed out on a bunch of stuff. But yeah, if you've been enjoying this series, remember, show your support in the comments down below. I really do want to continue doing this series, and if this series had a lot of support, I would get episodes out faster, but it's just kind of just treading water at this point, which is why I think after I finish season 1, we'll be putting this on hold, but I will get back to it at some point, just because it's been a while since I've continued on with other shows. I just want to give some other shows chances in the spotlight, just to kind of test to see where we go. But yeah, let me know what you thought about my reaction and review in the comments down below. If you want to see the extended reaction and extended review, they are available on my Patreon right now. If you want to check that out, I have a bunch of tiers. If you want to just check it out, there's a project I'm working on that will eventually be coming to YouTube in time. But yeah, stay tuned for the next episode next week. Stay tuned for my movie reactions. Stay tuned for the Royal Rumble's coming up. If you're a wrestling fan, I might be doing a review or a reaction of that. But yeah, things are happening this year. So yeah, alright, just gonna leave it there. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm gonna talk to you guys later, alright? Adios.